Now you can start. Vibhaji, you can start now.
विभाजी को बोलना पड़ेगा.
स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ. हाँ,
Namaste, good evening to all. Namaste, good evening to all of you. Very happy to join this Thursday meetings, mainly put together by some friends in Indore, attended nowadays by many people in different parts of India, and I guess some from abroad also. Friends, we will apply our minds in this session to a topic, and that is modern wisdom, ancient roots. This topic itself might have puzzled some of you when you received the notice or the invitation to this dialogue. I would clarify therefore right in the beginning that wisdom really is timeless. And we are not claiming here that modern generations have certain wisdom which can be seen everywhere, and then to say that that is linked with some ancient roots. Let me clarify that more than some wisdom being seen in modern world, the word modern wisdom should be taken as the wisdom which is very much required in modern times and seen a little bit here and there. People who are truly wise are rare in today's world, and I personally would imagine they were rare from time immemorial in the good old days also. And to put it in another way, in good old days too,
जिनसा उनको बोलना पड़ेगा, उनका माइक ओपन करें. विभाजी आपका माइक ओपन करें, आप साउंड नहीं आ रहा है उसमें.
we very much appreciate it. Our eyebrows go up in awe, in admiration on one hand. On the other, if we take a look at some ancient examples, ancient literature, doesn't have to be from any particular country. Today we know that there were wise people even among natives of America or Australia, tribals in some parts of Asia, some parts of Africa, and so on. There was wisdom. Therefore, the word roots might be misleading. It's not exactly that whoever is wise these days has drawn from some ancient works. No, wisdom descends on people due to some inexplicable, mysterious factors. Some 40 years ago, I guess, Eckhart Tolle, a European to begin with, but who was living by then in Vancouver, Canada, we suddenly began to experience fear of death. He almost died, but then not quite. He came out of that near-death experience, and a certain new outlook emerged in him. In the 20th century, no, in the 19th century, Ramana Maharshi was also through a similar experience, the so-called death experience. So having something to do with death or having nothing to do with death, my point here is, in ancient times and in modern times too, people have a certain awakening. Krishnaji, Jiddu Krishnamurti, had what they called the process when he was just 28 or 30 years old. He went through it, and much later, when he was 56 or 58, again, the process was on. The wheels are moving, he said to his friends. By the way, I'm not connecting wisdom necessarily with any out-of-the-way experience. Wisdom is a new way of seeing, and that happens once more due to certain factors which are yet to be understood. So ancient roots is only in the sense of what we today admire, appreciate, looking at which our jaws drop, was present in ancient times too. So let's dwell a little bit on what constitutes wisdom. With ancient roots or without roots, whatever. What is this wisdom we are talking about? In recent times, somebody who was at one time a professor in Columbia University in New York and offered a course on happiness. It is said Dr. Sri Kumar Rao of Indian origin was the first one to offer a course on happiness in a Western university, and later on, lots of universities began to offer a course, sometimes an elective, an optional course on happiness. And Dr. Rao, who runs an institute called the Rao Institute in New York, now is retired from his professor's position, but goes around and offers courses on what he calls CPM. CPM stands for Creativity and Personal Mastery. He wrote a book recently, and this theme on which I am attempting to talk is the title of that book, Modern Wisdom, Ancient Roots. Perhaps that way of putting it is inspired by an expression a Kannada poet had used in a famous work of 1950, in which Mr. Gundappa says, our life is like a huge tree with new twigs and new shoots and new leaves and new flowers and new fruits and so on top, but old roots below the earth. New flowers, but old roots. Sri Kumar Rao also happens to have Kannada as his mother tongue. I would guess, I don't know, I have not verified it. He perhaps titled his book Ancient Roots, Modern Wisdom, inspired by a couplet by Devi Gundappa. Okay, what are the dimensions? Let me tell you, and I'm quoting a line from Dr. Rao's book at this moment. There is no destination in life, there is no destination. The journey is all that there is, and it can be very joyful. This is a facet of the timeless wisdom which was found in ancient times too, in the lives of women and men across the globe. It was found in ancient times in what these people wrote down and so on. And this wisdom that there is no destination in life is present now also in a handful of people everywhere. Let me briefly elaborate on this. There is no destination. In lack of wisdom, you and I are always chasing a destination, a dream. We see somebody and looking at a certain facet of his life, his career, we begin to envy him. Oh, I have a degree from University of Baroda. Look at this lady. She has one degree from Cambridge and another degree from Harvard. Oops. I wish I had such degrees. I want to become, I want to reach, some kind of image. We really don't know whether this lady with a degree from Cambridge in England, a degree from Harvard in USA, is happy at all, because looks are deceptive. In a get-together, in a party, with a soft drink in her hand, with a pearl necklace around her neck, maybe the way she spoke and laughed, etc., was very impressive. We don't know what her state of mind was or is at other times. Human knowledge is limited. Okay, this habit of imagining somebody is so accomplished and must be happier, and looking at ourselves in a poorer light and wanting to reach somewhere, etc., is lack of wisdom. Wisdom involves in knowing that while on a transactional plane we do set goals, we do set certain idea of where we want to reach. Inside, we are enjoying the journey more than that fancy for reaching somewhere. Therefore, Dr. Rao says so well, there is no destination. The journey is all there is, and it can be very joyful. Because many people would imagine, oh, I don't like these very negative teachings. I like the teachings, dream big, become big, and all kinds of motivational stuff. And here comes a statement, and you call it wisdom. The statement says there is no destination. The journey is all there is. I don't like this. Some people are prone to say, because they imagine if there is only the journey and no destination, life is such a lackluster affair. No. Therefore, the quote from Dr. Rao goes, it can be very joyful when we enjoy the journey, when we enjoy the learning, when we enjoy the transactions, when we enjoy not only giving, but at times receiving. when we enjoy not only being at a certain advantage at times, but we also enjoy being beggars. Very humbly we pray to somebody, can you please give me some food, some clothes? Can you give me shelter? Can you help me with this? Can you correct me? And somewhere there is joy in that too, if we look at it in the right perspective. And that right perspective is wisdom. With an open mind, with a learning mind, with a certain receptivity, not pretending to be humble, not learning some acting where we speak polite words and so on, that won't take us far. Actually understanding that life is what it is. All of us have our ups, all of us have our downs, but the ups and downs do not mean much if we have a certain depth in our understanding. So wisdom is not about improving the standard of living. What do we mean by standard of living? Having the most advanced gadgets at our, in our reach, whether it is communication or medical care or transport from place to place, or a whole lot of conveniences right in our home. Now, this morning I learned that in the smartphone that I happen to possess, I don't have to press a passcode to open it. I set it today, this morning only here. The Apple phones can be programmed to recognize our face, and then it opens. Otherwise, it is locked. Nobody can open it. Now I set it now, and now when I take it and hold it in front of my face, the phone recognizes my face, and without a PIN, without a password, it just opens. So that is all standard of living. I remember even 50, 60 years ago, I watched a movie where the hero of a Kannada movie, in Kannada we had a hero called Rajkumar, not the Hindi Rajkumar. He gets up and then he just presses a button and his whole bed moves from one room to the other. And so many, breakfast on a tray comes in front of him. So in 1960s, we watched that movie. Wow, if we had a house like this and so on, without going further on it, these things are to an extent helpful, but that is standard of living. It has a place of its own. Wisdom is about standard of life. Some authors make a distinction. Standard of living is external, standard of life is inner, internal. Have we found some meaning in life? Have we sort of figured out what it takes to be happy? Or are we going in a wrong direction, as the idiom goes? Are we knocking on wrong doors for happiness? And then certain philosophical questions like where we come from, where we go, and so on, can bother us at times. But in wisdom, we come to terms with these questions. If not a complete answer, we at least have some understanding, or we have at least arrived at a point where these questions do not bother us anymore. So if questions are answered, fine. If questions are once for all thrown to the dustbin, that is also fine. In context of self-inquiry and self-observation, self-knowledge, self-knowing, and so on, that's one domain of wisdom, as you know. There is an important dimension that needs to be mentioned at this point. Refining one's sense of self and to anchor in it. In our ignorance, in lack of wisdom, you and I have a sense of self, who I am, based on our bank balance, based on just physical health, sometimes the color of the skin, sometimes caste, creed, race, and from what college I got my degree many years ago, and so many things. A sense of self. Which actually not valid. They may have a certain place in some transactions, but that is of limited value. If you are tall, well, it has some value if you are playing basketball. If you are short, that also has value if you have to enter through a short door. All others have to bend. You can walk in being a short man, walk in without any hassle. So wealth and less wealth and height and less height and bank balance and all of them have certain benefit in some context, but have not much to do with the whole of life. So refining a sense of the self, as you and I understand who we are on a deeper plane, like Krishnaji has said that many times, appealed to his audiences, be human first. One of the compilations of Krishnaji's writings, a publication with our Krishnamurti Foundation, is Being Human. I've always admired the titles of works of Krishnamurti, of course put together and titled by people who have been students of his teachings for a while. He did not give a title and write a book, he spoke. But these titles are wonderful. Being human, flight of the eagle, right? Think on these things, so on. You are the world. Some of these titles, before even you open the book, the titles themselves set you thinking. I am the world. I wonder what it is. The Only Revolution. I have not read that book. I know there is one book called I Only Revolution. But that title inspires me. The Only Revolution. And so many other revolutions going on in this world, which happen in this world. What have they done? Has there been any real change? The world changed from Tweedledum to Tweedledee, which means no change. The only revolution is when the self in us ends. So, to attach our sense of the self to grosser external things is lack of wisdom. To know that all descriptions fall short of who I am. I am, full stop. Or as they say in American English, I am, period. In America, though, they don't use full stop and, I guess some other, they say period, period, half period. Anyway, so I am is the deepest, revised sense of self. I am. Don't attach any description. Our sorrow is always, or at least most of the time, because of what we attach to I am. I am only a graduate. My wife is a postgraduate. No, she's a PhD. Can be a bit sorrowful for a husband. Can be. It doesn't have to be. Many a time, I am from a low caste and he is from a high caste. So I am, and then you add something, it generates many ideas of high and low, worthy and unworthy, and so on. So to say just a couple of things more, wisdom which modern times cannot claim we have it and the old guys did not have. Wisdom which people of ancient times cannot claim that we are the last generation to have this. In future, nobody will come upon this wisdom. Wisdom was not bound to olden times. It's not bound to modern times. It is nobody's private property. The East cannot claim that all wisdom came only from the East, though the Easterners would like to say that. Nor can the West say that they are the privileged race or class or group who had and have access to wisdom. So here we are, the deeper dimensions of wisdom we examined, one or two of them. On a little relative plane too, let me tell you a facet of wisdom. To imagine through a mental model, through certain processes of thinking, to imagine the world is against us, the world is conspiring to crush us, everybody is selfish, and unless I am very clever, unless I outwit them before they do, they will finish me, etc. To live in such thoughts is, alas, a very unhealthy mindset. In its place, not by memorizing some paragraphs from some book, but through certain examination, through certain double checking, through being with facts rather than some borrowed fancies, if we come upon the understanding that we actually live in a benevolent universe. We live in a benevolent universe, starting with nature's gifts, the sun, the rains, the flora and fauna around us, the rivers, and a long list of what we generally traditionally call God's creation has given us, is giving us. The earth seems to be forgiving us no matter how much we have hurt her. The earth is compared with a mother. So to look at the world as compassionate and to include even people, human beings, somebody who is hard to us, hard on us, also in another sense is making us introspect, teaching us a lesson. Sometimes people who are a bit hard on us facilitate more inner growth in us than those people who are very kind and forgiving and so on. Therefore, this shift from looking at the world as cruel, selfish, to looking at the world as benevolent, compassionate, can also be a facet of wisdom. I would say, I said this before also, I guess, in the beginning, that a whole lot of such wisdom is what the modern world needs badly. Otherwise, today, even people who are quote and unquote successful, who are achievers, live in such uncertainty, such insecurity, and the society may not so easily know what they are going through. Celebrities are often seen to be confessing how they have been not at peace, they have been restless and so on. Because this business of attaching their happiness to a destination where one never reaches, if one reaches also, that changes, there is a new destination within short time. So one is always discontent, disturbed, dissatisfied, and so on. We are not making a case for any false satisfaction. Bury our head in the sand and imagine there is no problem whatsoever around. That's not the point. But through a psychologically created image, we cause unhappiness to ourselves. That doesn't speak for any wisdom. Lastly, the wisdom that we are talking about, modern as well as ancient, it's not high philosophy only. In the sense, it doesn't say, well, everything is fine. Don't imagine there is any problem in life, etc. That would be impractical. So we put it this way. The modern wisdom, which is something that has much to do with what ancient people also had discovered. So let's just call it wisdom. This wisdom is practical also. In one sense, yes, enjoy the journey, don't worry about reaching anywhere. One sense, yes. But on the other hand, wisdom involves living fully every moment, putting in our effort. If we want to raise a garden, right? A garden doesn't come up on its own. A lot of hard work, week after week, if not day after day. Suppose a family is raising a little garden in their backyard. They need to weed out plants which are harmful to what you want to grow, you want to water, you want to provide fertilizers at times. You want to protect the garden from stray cattle and other problems. There was a statement by John Keats in one of his poems. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Somebody who was trying to raise a garden in his backyard, and his wife said, "Oh, come on, how far has the garden come? Work hard, it should come, it will be so beautiful." His husband one day got so tired and said to his wife, using John Keats' statement but with a twist. Keats said, "A thing of beauty is a joy forever," referring to the wonderful garden that is, desired to come up. The husband said, "Honey, a thing of beauty is a job forever. I have to work so much and you are behind me. You want the flowers to blossom, you want the fruits to be available, you want the leaves to shine in the sunshine. But for all that to happen, a thing of beauty is a job forever," he said. Humor apart, modern wisdom in no way discounts self-effort. Self-effort, our doing what we can with our heart and soul, is integral to that vision that we are not chasing some dream. After all, our intelligence is limited. In the first place, we do not know what will be truly good for us. The best thing is to keep learning and doing the best. This way, friends, we have ruminated a bit on modern wisdom and ancient roots. In this session, I am not in a position to continue with you, take questions or make comments. I wish you a very fruitful, meaningful interaction following this little sharing from my side. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Vibhaji, for sharing this video to us.
Most welcome.
Harshad sir, would you please say something? You wanted to say something, Vibhaji?
No, I said most welcome. It was my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Harshad sir, please.
Are you able to hear?
Yeah.
Okay, I am not turning on the video because
Okay.
I am in the dark place.
Okay.
So, thank you, Swamiji, and thank you, Sushilji. Somewhere I read one sentence that the kingdom of happiness is within you. And I feel that the kingdom of happiness is nothing but wisdom. And this wisdom, it comes from within. And there are many factors. I think what kind of family we are born in, and what kind of environment, our education, what kind of books we read, what kind of friends we have. It depends on many factors. Um, so basically, it means to be sensitive and being aware of what is happening, uh, and feel very quickly. If, like the sensitivity, it means not only um, something happening to us, but also something happening to the society. That kind of sensitivity uh, is wisdom. And I don't know much to say, but maybe it comes close to what Krishna ji is calls awareness. And this awareness is not the result of reading many books, gathering lot of knowledge, but ability to be quiet and turning the attention within and watching our own mind, how the thoughts are moving. So, wisdom comes from this ability to look inward clearly, not with the interference of the previous knowledge, but looking at the thinking as it is unfolding within us. I don't have much to say about the wisdom. When I read the title, Modern Wisdom, then I did not know what is modern wisdom. And I know the ancient wisdom which comes in India from Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, and many people get it from in the older times. People were getting it from family, but now the families are not very happy. Also divided family, and children, they are very confused. They don't know what to do. And so this wisdom is very difficult. I also talk with students in the school, and they find their mind is extremely restless, and that affects their body, and they can't remain quiet even for 5-10 minutes. They cannot listen very silently. They cannot speak clearly, and they cannot see things around them also. So the awareness is lacking in the modern world. Probably, I think too much the mind is bombarded with too many things, so many activities, and people are not finding time to be just quiet and walk in the nature or listen to some good music with eyes closed. So that kind of activity of walking in nature, walking alone, listening to good music, reading good books, that might awaken some wisdom, and that can help. But basically, it can come only being sensitive to what is happening within us. So I don't have right now many things to say, but let other people speak, and then if there is something comes to my mind, I will speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Harshad sir.
Mm.
Anybody else wanted to say? Please raise hand. Ravi Kaushal. Please unmute and say.
Hello.
Ravi. Okay.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, uh, if this previous speaker is saying that you know the wisdom depends on many factors, like one of them is education. So I was thinking, I'm thinking that is education capable to bring wisdom in us? Can we how can that wisdom come? Can education teach us wisdom? That is the question. So I think wisdom is something nobody knows how human mind come on that thing which is wisdom. Wisdom, according to me, what I have read yet. I think when the mind truly understands that I don't know, when he move from I don't know and remain in I don't know always. How much literatures the one has read, but his statement, his curiosity is always empty. I think that thing is wisdom. So let's see what others says. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ravi. Anybody else?
Maybe I can make a comment.
Please.
Yeah, in my case, when I was young in the school, in my family, my father and mother, they were good people, but they were busy. Father was busy with office work, and the mother was busy with the family work, uh, raising many children, because I had many brothers and sisters. But somehow I was interested in reading books about Gandhiji or Ramakrishna or Vivekanand. And so I don't know how I got, because neither father nor mother nor my friends, they suggested that I should read such books, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita and all that. So maybe something which we bring from our previous birth, it seems to me, because when I look at my case, nobody encouraged me to read books of wisdom. And so I did not have many close friends, and I had time to be alone. And so that would have also contributed to reading books like that. I was not very social. So people who are more introvert and people who can read good books and learn from that. So that can, and more important than this, that when I was in a different culture, like America, and I had to go through many, many problems. And then I all that knowledge which I had of Bhagavad Gita and Upanishad, it did not help me. And my mind was full of many thoughts about past and future. And then I came across a book of Krishnamurti, and he was asking very, very relevant questions. And somehow I got attracted and I began to observe my own mind. And then life really begin to change and begin to see that there is a real happiness, real beauty and love in our life. So I would say that basically it has to do with the ability to look at our own self very, very clearly, and not reading so many books and not gathering so much knowledge, because even great poets, they say that, like Kabir, Pothi padi padi jag mua, Pandit hua na koi, Dai akshar prem ka, pade so pandit hoy. So only those people who read a little bit, but they are able to watch their own mind very, very clearly, silently. As Ravi Kaushal said, I don't know. That state of I don't know, it means that the mind is at peaceful rest and not interpreting everything what it reads. So that quality of I don't know or being silent and observing whatever is happening within us, from that the wisdom comes. Okay, I have finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Harshad sir. Anybody else? If no one else wanted to say something, then we will have to close it now. Please raise the hand. Or Harshad sir, you wanted to conclude it?
Uh, no, I think as I said, the first sentence, the kingdom of happiness is within you. I think maybe it's said in the Bible or somewhere, and that is nothing but the wisdom. So wisdom is something which makes your life very lively, happy, creative, and it has nothing much to do with reading and thinking so much, but being silent and observing everything, whether it's nature or listening to good music or uh, just talking with friends, but not gossiping, not gathering too much knowledge of the world. That doesn't bring wisdom. One needs to be aloneness is very, very important in this wisdom. Aloneness and being silent and observing whatever is happening. Okay, I have finished.
Dinesh Waghmare, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, actually,
Please.
there is a problem at my end.
Yeah.
Internet is not proper, so there may be some interruption or something.
Whenever
Kindly
there
bear
will
with
be
me.
interruption, we will say it. You can go ahead.
Okay. Are you now able to
We are
hear
able
me
to listen
clearly
you.
right now?
Bilkul. No problem.
Okay. Even my light may be going on here. Here, the light may be going because there is a heavy rain here. Anyway, I don't know.
Everywhere.
Basically, from hello.
Everywhere is raining. In my
Yeah.
house, it is also raining in the
Yeah.
vicinity.
So can I proceed now?
Oh yeah, you can.
I do not know basically from where to start because it's a big subject, and there are, I dare say, or I'm sorry to say, there are so many misconceptions about this wisdom word. Basically, even people say that there should be a silent mind only, or there should be aloneness only. This is one aspect of the total issue. Yes, when your mind is silent and you are actually free, then the insight you may get in a very shortly or very quickly. But otherwise, also insight come whether your mind is silent or not, or whether you are alone or not. So these are not the requisites, or these are not the conditions for the wisdom. Wisdom is basically what, in my views and my experience, wisdom is basically a thing which normally doesn't. It's a new thing coming to you in a particular moment, in a particular fact, in a particular situation to act. In tradition, today we are also talking about the tradition, ancient roots. So in ancient roots, it has been called as pragya, and this pragya is entirely different thing. So pragya, what is pragya basically, or what is wisdom, which we are saying? And even JK has also said that this intelligence is a daughter of wisdom. Why he has said that? One has to go really deep. One has to understand People say that they have read Gita and all that, but have they pondered on this word pragya? Pragya is what? See, it is a message basically coming from an entirely different dimension, which may come in a voice sort of thing, which may come in your situation. You may get some insight in a different way, or somebody guides you all of a sudden, which is you're out of mind, which you do not expect that normally, and it happens to you, or a situation changes all of a sudden. So this is an entirely different thing. There are so many other people, enlightened people. They have never promoted that mind should always be silent, or there should be an aloneness. This is one of the aspects. So people say in different words different things. Now, what is wisdom basically? In my views, in my understanding, what I would like to say, wisdom means whenever any first of all, let us understand. First thing is information. We go on Google and we find lot of information about lot many things. Then we see what is of interest to us. We gather that information. If our interest is more, then we get that information. We try to read, and we collect knowledge from that. So that knowledge is maybe worldly, used for the worldly things or any other thing. Then when that knowledge is there, and you have personally also experienced that thing, then it is known as understanding. Yes, now understanding fully, totally. Theoretically, I was having understanding earlier, means logically or intellectually, and now I am having experience, and now I understand this thing fully. But where to use that, whether that is to be used or not, this is wisdom. Suppose the talking of intent, this thing also, roots also. In Mahabharata Yuddha, Krishna said to Arjun, what is the right approach? There can be a lot many things. He could have gone, his attitude was entirely different. He could have gone to a jungle and remain as a sadhu or some this saint and all that. But Krishna said this is not the right thing to do. So Krishna has given him insight. Krishna has clearly told him what is the right for him. So that is wisdom he has given to him in the form of Gita. So whether that thing has to be used or not, you have got complete understanding of a thing. Now you want to use that wisdom or not, that is the thing. Now again, one more thing, like understanding, this wisdom doesn't go and goes and comes. Like say for example, a thought. If you see the thought comes and goes, or from memory it comes and it goes back. Suppose you want to see a person. If you see a person, you want to know his name. You asked him, then you retain him or register him in your memory. And then when you want to recollect it, you just call that memory back. So it is going and coming sort of thing. But understanding is what? Once you have understood one thing, that understanding will remain with you as a change. It never goes or comes back. And then wisdom also similarly remains with you. Once you are wise, you cannot be again, you cannot be fool. Nobody can make fool of you in that particular aspect. That doesn't mean that you may not, your mind may not be disturbed, or your mind may not be, what we can say, go haywire and all that. But as far as that wisdom is concerned, it will never go and come. It will remain there. Yes, with the time, some new understanding comes. Wisdom can also be modified. As I said, it is a insight or a thing which is to be used in a particular condition or a particular fact or a particular situation. So it can come and go. In that case only it will be modified. Otherwise, whatever wisdom you have acquired or gained or whatever is, that has made a particular change in your state of being. It will remain with your state of being. So I think I am very clear. Unfortunately, I could not listen today the because of this net problem, the lecture of Chidanand sir, Swamiji, and Harshad sir also I could not listen fully, but right now I want to say this much. If any questions or any other thing or any other person says something, then we can discuss further. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Waghmare. We have listened to you in toto. Nothing remains to be said by you.
Any
Ravi?
comment by
Ravi?
Harshad sir or this?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Hello.
Hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, yes.
Let
Dinesh sir
Harshad,
said that.
Ravi, let Harshad sir say first.
Okay,
Please.
no problem.
Okay. I feel my view is that um, wisdom comes spontaneously without our first reading and then thinking and then coming to some intellectual understanding and then it become an actual understanding. I do not think that it works that way. But when we are reading something and suddenly while reading itself, something strikes us. It comes unexpectedly. So the real wisdom, it cannot be anticipated or cannot be um, planned, but it happens when we are reading something and not thinking so much. And so whatever is said in the book, it goes directly in our heart without much thinking about whether it is right or wrong. So wisdom comes unexpectedly, and it depends on the state of our mind, how we are reading a book or listening to somebody, and something strikes us, and we say, "Oh yes, I see it." So it happens spontaneously and not gradually, first understanding intellectually and then understanding. That is my understanding. Of course, it may vary from person to person. Okay, thank you.
Ravi?
Hmm.
Ravi, please unmute. Ravi, please
Yes, sir.
unmute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Uh, I'm saying that, sir, today I think the Vibha Chaitanya is here. So I'm saying that, and I see just one image, and in that the Ramna picture was there. So I feel so happy to see the woman. So I appreciate अगर वो अपना video on कर दे तो it will be good, nice for me. And another thing I'm saying that
It is wonderful.
uh,
You are never showing your camera, your view, but you are interested in others' view. It gives me pleasure. Vibha,
okay.
would you please like to say something? Vibhaji, would you please like to say something?
Hmm. Okay, I think whenever she wants to come, she will come. So one thing Dinesh sir was saying that intelligence is the daughter. Intelligence is the daughter of wisdom. So, but the way I see, I just know that. So I see that it is. Wisdom is not listening someone and then with the listening you come to any conclusion. That conclusion is not may be wise or may not be wise. That is another thing. But the very act of listening, very act of listening. If there is some the way a, a wise man listen. If there is that, you will see all the things in the very listening, and it's clear. I see that the wisdom is that I don't know when the mind when uh, uh, there was a time when I was reading this Nanak Ji Japu Ji Sahab. So when I was listening that and I see that my knowledge is interfering uh, uh, in listening. My knowledge is interfering. I see that and I put aside all my knowledge, and then I connect, somehow commune with that Japuji Sahab. So this is one thing I see, that the act of listening requires a wise, that is wisdom, not the conclusion. The after listening Japuji Sahab what I have concluded, that may be a wise or may not be a wise, but the very act of listening without your own knowledge, then maybe I think there is a commune between the person who was saying and the statement, whatever you are reading. This is one thing, and that thing that K was saying, according to Dineshji's wisdom, intelligence is the daughter of wisdom. But I see that wisdom is always when you say that I don't know, when you put your knowledge aside. This is the and intelligence is very sharp, very sharp and clear cut. In intelligence, there is a there is like a samurai. So very clear. The clarity has no choice. It's like that. So when the mind understands that it cannot know, when the mind says that I don't know, and when the mind says that I cannot know, that is the difference I put in wisdom and all that. And once there is wisdom, there is wisdom always. So these things I see. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Shravan sir. Shravan sir, you are writing something on note. Would you please like to say whatever you are writing? Shravan sir, please unmute and say. Please. Some problem with Shravan sir?
Yes, your voice is coming.
Okay.
His voice is coming, but it is cutting.
Okay. Then you read it, please. Whatever Saravanan has written, you read it, please. Modak, please read it.
Then what is wisdom? Wisdom is when knowledge ends. Knowledge has continuity. Without continuity, there is no knowledge. That which has continuity can never be free. The new. There is freedom only to that which has an ending. Knowledge can never be new. It is always becoming the old. The old is even absorbing the new and thereby gaining strength. The mind must cease for the new to be. You are saying, in other words, that thought must end for wisdom to be. But how is thought to end? He has written that much in the chat.
But he is not able to say something because of some
His,
problem with audio.
his voice is breaking basically.
I got it. I got it. Dinesh Waghmare, you wanted to end it now? After listening this? Dinesh?
1 minute.
Some problem with his audio?
His audio is muted basically.
Okay. Then please end
Yeah.
it. This is a good
Are you?
comment.
No, sir. There was I was not able to unmute myself. I want to say something.
You still wanted
Can I
to say
continue?
something? Still you
Yes.
wanted to say something by listening Shravan's comment?
Yes.
Still some
Definitely.
desire. Okay.
Yes.
Please say.
Okay. As I said earlier,
Right.
this is one of the aspects which Saravanan sir has said, or Harshad sir has said. One thing we have to understand very clearly.
Who is Saravanan?
He is from Vijayawada.
Vijayawada, from Vijayawada. Ravi, still you wanted to,
Sir,
Ravi, still you wanted to say something?
sir, kindly you are interrupting me.
No,
Can I
I am not
continue?
interrupting anybody. I am not interrupting anybody. Please take your
Can I
words back.
continue?
No, I will tell you. Please just let me finish my talk with Ravi. Ravi, still you wanted to say something? Now you continue. Continue.
I hope there will not be any interruption now.
No, please don't guide me. Please. Please guide me.
Do you think that you can be guided, sir?
No, no, no. No, I am just saying, just if you wanted to laugh on this, please. First laugh, enjoy, and then say whatever you want. Please conclude now.
I always
Because
enjoy
repeatedly we
your
are saying the
company.
same thing.
I
We are
always
repeatedly saying same thing.
sir, sorry, sir. Please listen to me. I always enjoy your company.
Okay.
Keep some patience to listen to me, sir. Then you can say if you are any objection.
Everybody has got a patience.
Please.
Everybody has got a patience.
So please,
If you
let me continue.
and say for 20 minutes, we will allow you.
Please.
You say up to 20 minutes now. For 20 minutes, I allow you.
Okay.
But
Is it a
don't
condition
stop.
that okay, anyway. Anyway,
Dinesh,
let me say whatever comes to me. Okay.
Okay.
So what I was trying to say, this coming wisdom or intelligence operating, they don't have any conditions as such. We have to be very unconditional. We normally read to Krishnamurti and we forget that there should not be any conditioning. And then we become conditioned to say that wisdom will operate like this only or intelligence will operate like this only. First of all, whatever Saravanan sir has said, yes, that is one aspect. But another thing we have to understand, suppose some or Harshad sir was saying that it comes spontaneous. Yes, it comes spontaneous. Within time is not involved in that. But how it will come, how it will interlink to your ego or your personality. There has to be some dialogue. Number one, if there is a dialogue, then there is a message, right? If there is no message directly to you, then there will be a change in situation and you will be guided to see that change in situation. So whatever JK said, listening, seeing, with that additional input to you, you will be forced to see that thing or you will be listen to that thing, and then you will act. Then you will be taking a decision whether to act or not. Even you will prompted to do something forcefully, or you will be given some options which will be very interesting options. So these wisdom is not a fixed sort of thing, or not a you can say there is no rigidity in it. Even intelligence has got n number of options. Even I would say that infinite number of options. One thing can be done n number of ways. If we see we open our eyes and see the things, all the individuals, they work, but their style differs. Why? One thing has been given to some X person, the same thing has been given to Y person or Z person. Everybody will be having its own way of operating or modus of operandi. So we have to be very clear whenever that intelligence comes into picture, or you get the message. How you get? What is the link in between ego and that? That is, thought stops or not stops. There is no condition for intelligence to come. You have to keep your window open, as JK said. JK is very clear, but JK has to be really, one has to work on it. What his intentions are, basically. And you have to find that he has given answer for some question at a different place or at in different year altogether. So you have to be very exhaustive in reading to JK, and then you have to work on yourself, and then you have to find out. So these things are not as we are seeing them right now. That's what my feeling is. So even other people have talked a lot about pragya, lot about insight, lot about wisdom. Buddha has talked about wisdom. So one is to really go deep and see what does it mean. One thing is very clear. People say that there should be no thought, but always whenever the that insight will be coming, it definitely having some link to your past. Insight cannot will use your basic back knowledge or this thing, and then only giving you the decision or giving you a particular way or a particular options. So there has to be some background or some what we can say preparation for that. That without that preparation, that will not be coming. We see for a common man, we see we think that directly wisdom or this thing will be giving any insight or this will be coming to him wisdom directly. I'm sorry, we have not seen that, or there is no reference of it in the past history. So these are all things which are to be very uh, uh, think on what JK said, think on these things. So I think we should think on these things, and then only we can come to some. I would not say conclusion, but something should arrive, or some insight should come to us in the matter of this wisdom itself. I think now it's 7:17. So now Sushil Kumar Jain sir can interrupt me. Thank you. Thank you for giving me chance, Sushil sir.
You enjoyed in saying uninterrupted. You have said whatever you wanted to say.
How does it matter to you, sir? Why are you worried, sir?
I am worried.
Why are you going? Yeah, okay.
No, I'm just
Let us
asking
not
you.
let us not go into reactions, and let us proceed further. I think we should
No,
move ahead.
Let me proceed. Let me proceed. Please end it now. Please end it. Modak, please end it.
Sir, if Harshad sir would like to conclude or say something, if you want
No,
to
it
ask,
doesn't
you
need to
can.
tell you. You please end it now. End it now, please. Harshad